So this is a brief presentation about the issues within the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. So I'm going to read to you the VA's mission statement and vision. So the VA's mission statement is as follows: to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and for his orphan, by serving and honoring the men and women who are America's veterans. This is important to keep in mind as we learn about the VA's actions or lack thereof. So here are some statistics from the VA's Inspector General. As of last year, there were over 800,000 backed up records for veterans applying for health care. Of those 800,000 plus records, about 307,000 veterans died before they received any health care. And over 10,000 records had been deleted from the VA because of incorrect markings in just the past 5 years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some background issues and long appeal times. So the first step when trying to get support from the VA is to make a claim, and on average this takes about 120 days. But due to lack of funding and efficiency within the VA, most requested benefits are not given to veterans on their first time making a claim. Because of this, veterans must appeal, and on average this takes 18 months. And this is all while they don't have any health care or support. So the VA's Inspector General also found an application that had been pending for over 14 years. So this should start to bring some awareness to the troubles within this institution. So this is Edward Laird, and he's a retired Navy vet. And so Edward Laird had an issue with his nose and went to the VA 4 times to get his nose checked out. Each time he went, he was denied service and told to reschedule his appointment. 2.5 years later, after his first VA visit, Edward Laird lost 70% of his nose to cancer. He had to get reconstructive surgery to repair what was left of his nose at the age of 73. So he went literally over 2.5 years without receiving any treatment, and because of that, he lost his nose. Situations like Laird's are unfortunately more common than you would expect. Thousands of veterans are left waiting for years before receiving any support from the VA. So here are some key problems in the VA. One is leadership. Executives within the VA are constantly changing and missing proposed deadlines. The last acting United States Secretary of Veterans Affairs was only in office for 2 months. Also, in 2018, there were over 45,000 vacant jobs within the VA. The lack of staff directly correlates with the lack of treatment provided to veterans. And then competitive pay is also a problem. The government caps pay for many of the VA's employees, which makes the private sector much more appealing. In 2017, the VA was ranked 17th out of 18 places to work in the government. So how can people help if the VA isn't doing enough? So since veterans can't rely on the VA alone, consider supporting them by spreading awareness on social media or supporting charities like these that I listed. So one of them is Freedom Service Dogs America, and this is cool because it is a charity that provides veterans with shelter dogs that have been trained to become assistance dogs for vets. Or there's also charities like the Semper Fi Fund, which provide financial aid and medical expenditures. And you can also just spread awareness by retweeting posts from sources such as @VetsComingHome.